Today we're going to talk about adding and subtracting unlike fractions. And what that is it's simply fractions with different denominators. They are parts out of different wholes. So you can't really compare them unless they have the same denominator. So to make them the same, there's three different methods that you could choose to use. One method is you could see if the smaller denominator is a factor of the larger denominator. This is probably the easiest to do. If that doesn't work, then you're going to have to pick one of the remaining. You can find a common multiple of both numbers. That's where your least common multiple comes in handy. Or you could simply multiply the two numbers together. But whatever you choose, you're going to have to convert the fractions so they have common denominators. Once they are like fractions, then you can add or subtract the numerators and simplify. So, for example, in part A, you've got 3/5 plus 1/3. The easiest way, I think, is to see, does 3 go into 5? It does not, so now I'm going to move on. Let's see if we can find a common multiple. I know 3 and 5 have a common multiple of 15. So now, how did I get that 15? Well, 5 times 3 gives you 15. So whatever you do to the bottom, whatever you do to the denominator, you need to do to the top, you need to do to the numerator to keep them equal. All we're doing is finding equivalent fractions. Remember, I'm not making this 3 times bigger, right? I'm just splitting that 3 parts up into tinier little parts. It's the same exact size. All right, if we were to make a drawing, it's this, and we will do this tomorrow, it's the same exact piece. It is equivalent fractions. They are the same, all right, just different pieces in that area. So I've got 9/15 plus 3 times 5 is 15, so whatever you do to the denominator, do to the numerator. 1 times 5 is 5. Again, equivalent fractions. These are not 3 times larger and 5 times larger. It's just different, a different amount of parts in the same equal space. So 9 plus 15 is 14 parts out of 15, and you're done. Okay? Same thing with B. Again, I think it's easiest to see, does 4 go into 8? And guess what? It does. Oops, sorry. So multiply it by 2, both by 2. This is going to give you 3/8 minus 3 times 2 is 6/8, and now I can subtract. 3 minus 6 is negative 3/8, and that's simplified. All right, last one of these examples. I've got a fraction, and I'm adding it to a mixed number. I want to take care of that mixed number first. So, there we go. So I've got negative 3/10, and I'm going to add it to negative what? Change that mixed number to an improper fraction. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 3 is 23/4. All right, I've got unlike denominators. I've got 3 out of 10 and 23 out of 4. I need to come up with a common denominator. I know that they both have a multiple of 20. So if I change this to 20 and change this, oh, that's going to be a negative, change this to 20, how am I getting there? Well, 10 times 2 is 20, so 3 times 2 is 6. And then 4 times 5 is 20, so 23 times 5, well, that's a bigger number, so let's see. 23 times 5 is 115. And then look what you have. You've got, you are adding a negative, which means subtraction, sorry. They are the same signs, so you are adding them together. It's 6 and 115, which is going to give you a negative 121 all over 20. And then we can simplify that. We can reduce that. That goes in 6 times with 1 left over. So your answer would be a negative, make that a little clearer, sorry, negative 6 1/20. Okay? Alright, we are going to be working with this more tomorrow, but the biggest thing you need to remember is that you cannot just add straight across. You need to have the same whole, you need to have the same denominator. Okay, see you tomorrow.